In this video, I'm going to run you through an awesome way that you can filter down your sales board to show only active sales docs or quotes or estimates or whatever you create in Hoops. And then we're going to go a little bit further and I'll show you the way that you can actually beef this up a little bit to implement a few cool filters that will show you your highest opportunity quotes, ones that you might need to follow up on, and so on. So let's quickly have a look at it. So creating an active list of quotes, as in quotes that have not yet been won. That's a really cool thing that you can do here. So on my sales board in Hoops, I can click Filters and then select from the list of columns to choose job number. When a sales doc is converted into a job in Hoops, you will 100% of the time get a job number assigned and linked with that sales doc. So how we can use that is to say job number is empty. Okay, so now we have an active quotes list, and I can then save this as a new view, which I'm going to rename to active. But then let's think about how we might consider taking this a little bit further. So another good process that I would recommend implementing is, the reality of it is you may not win 100% of the quotes or estimates that you send out. So you might like to implement a lost system. So if you know that the customer went somewhere else, or their event was cancelled, or there was another reason that they perhaps didn't proceed, it's a great idea to be able to set sales docs as being lost. And the way that this can then work within our active quotes list is we can then click on filters, add another filter, and say where job number is empty and overall status is none of lost. You'll notice my first record will now be filtered out. And now I have a more dynamic view that's allowing for all active quotes that are not lost. So let's save that as the existing view, and now we've got two filters. So that's a really cool way that you can set things up to then show all of my active quotes that are not lost. But then let's look at this by going a little bit further, and we'll split this off into two paths and actually two views here. So scrolling across, I've got this awesome viewed column. Now I am in a demo account, so you should see your viewed column being a little bit more active than so many of mine being not viewed. But interestingly, we know that a lot of our customers are sending out quotes and estimates and presentations, and they're not actually being viewed by the customer. This allows you to track that. As soon as the customer lands on the guest view link, it is going to count that as a view. So what we can do here is we can simply click the three dots next to the column title and filter. And now we've added the third filter in here to show the viewed column, and the operator is viewed, is not viewed, equals, more than, and so on. So what we can do here is, firstly, let's have a look at all of my quotes that have not been viewed. So here are active quotes not viewed, and let me save this as a new view. So we're going to call it active not viewed. And as a business owner, you want to know, why has that not been viewed? Follow up. Perhaps you even want to send them a PDF, or in my case, I would usually send them an SMS to try and get that quote viewed. And what you want is to end up with this quote being sent or pending, to move to accepted, or lost. Because if it's lost, it's better to know that than to be spending your resources on following up on a quote that's never going to go ahead. Alternatively, let's head back to let's go in this view here, and let's just adjust our filters to show the view count is equal or greater than, let's say, 3. So let's create a new view, and we'll rename this active high view. Let's just call it that. So in my demo account, I have a quote here. It's been viewed 106 times, but it hasn't yet been moved across to an order. How come? This is one that you'll want to follow up on. Also, I'm looking at this here, and I can see that the total value is $48,000. I should most certainly be chasing up on that one. So you could then consider, with that thought, adding another filter where the total is greater than or equal to, let's say, 10,000. And now you're going to further filter that board down and show these really high value, high opportunity quotes. They've been viewed more than 3 times and they're more than $10,000. Another thing that you can consider doing here as well, if you have a large sales team, is adding a filter, and the creator or created by is, in my case, Brad. I'll further filter this list down to show only 3 quotes that are actually assigned to me. Let's go active, high view, and now let's just call it active Brad. And you might create one view like this for each salesperson, and you'll want your salespeople to be going through and following up on these quotes. Another cool thing that you could consider doing as well is the age of your quote will obviously determine how relevant they are as well. So let's go back to our very first view and add another filter where the created date is on or after. It's currently the 2nd of December, so I'm going to go and say 6 months. So let's just go 2nd of July. No, that's 5 months, but still. So the created date is on or after the 2nd of July. So now I've gone from I've got 57 records, which makes it easier for your salespeople to follow up on 57 than following up on really old quotes, that 122 of them. Your numbers might be significantly higher than that as well. So the main point of this video is to demonstrate the concept of nesting multiple filters together to really drill down a big list of sales docs, whether they be presentations, estimates, quotes, etc., and filtering out what you don't need to see, but filtering in what you do need to see so that you can follow up and get a fantastic result for your business.